Hey Bernardo, how are we doing?
Hey Mike, I'm doing okay. Given the circumstances, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, we're all kind of getting our way through life at the moment, but yeah, glad to hear you're doing okay. So, who are you? Who is Bernardo, and what does Bernardo do?
My name is Bernardo Fernandes, and I'm a Portuguese coach. And I think maybe the biggest reason you contacted me or we got to know each other is because I also manage Self-Pass. I've created Self-Pass. So, basically, my life is very much related with hockey.
Yeah.
So I'm a professional hockey coach. I've been working in different countries, such as Netherlands and Belgium, and now currently in Germany. Also coached the Portuguese national team, and been very much involved with coaching programs, coaching education. I've followed different programs myself, and now I've been supporting as an educator or mentor. And actually, we are colleagues because we are going to be a course together.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. So that's pretty much summed up who I am in terms of hockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how did you come about starting Self-Pass? I mean, pretty much anybody in the hockey world knows Self-Pass in some iteration or another, whether that's through the skills videos, you know, the original skills videos sort of back in the day, or kind of your more detailed kind of sort of your writings and that kind of side of things. So how did you create Self-Pass?
So actually, the first person to incentivize me to start Self-Pass was my brother, because he's a designer and he's a very internet-minded guy. And I think it was around 6 years ago we were having lunch, and he told me, like, why don't you start a hockey blog? Like, you like to write a lot and you are always into hockey and researching and reading and everything. So you could start a hockey blog, you know, just write some things. And then he designed the logo of Self-Pass, the original logo, which changed meanwhile, and I can tell you the story about that. There's a funny story on that. So that's how I started. So basically, Self-Pass started as a blog, where I started to publish a couple of articles and opinions, and associated with a Twitter account. And I saw there was some interesting people started to follow, started to interacting. So that's the beginning of the concept Self-Pass. But then I was coaching a club in the Netherlands, and I had some Portuguese players, and I know they were very much on their off time. They were always trying to do tricks and to challenge each other and to try to make the sickest or the coolest trick. And once we just agreed, the four of us, and we went to the field. I had a GoPro camera, and we just filmed some of their tricks. We edit, we put some music on, we put our logo on, and the reaction was amazing. You know, the popularity of that video was amazing. We were just crazy about that, about something they already did on their own, just for fun and just to challenge each other and to entertain each other. The reaction and the messages and the interaction that video created was really massive. And so that was on Facebook. And then after a while, we decided to start Instagram, which wasn't so popular as it was today. I'm talking about 6 years ago. And that one thing led to the other. So we started to get a bit more energetic and enthusiastic about creating videos and filming videos and trying to be a bit more every time more original. So that is the very beginning of the project. So actually, the project became very popular mostly because of the videos and the skills, but the beginning was actually a written blog. Yeah.
And I think you can definitely see the passion in the writing. You know, when you come across, whether that's your blogs or on Twitter, you're so passionate about the sport, and your love for the game just kind of oozes across everything that you kind of get involved in. And you talk about the Instagram, like, you guys have got over 100,000 followers. You must be like one of the biggest independent kind of entities on Instagram. Like, that's pretty cool. And that doesn't just happen just because you made 1 or 2 cool videos. Like, there's a lot of work that's gone into that behind the scenes. So it's kind of like, what does that workload look like over the years?
So, to answer your first comment, so I like to write a lot. So I come, actually, my studying background was about humanities and writing. So I already write in my own language. I like to write a lot, and I was always, in my lifetime, whatever the other occupations I had, I was always busy with writing in some shape or form. So I thank you for the comment that you say that there is some passion that you can see that in the stuff we do. It's not all my personal articles, of course, I'm the one writing them, but other content in Instagram and other social media, I'm not the only one writing them. So now to try to explain you a little bit the process or how we develop, and although we have more than 100,000 followers, which is considerable in hockey, and there are big numbers in hockey, it's still, if you compare with other sports or sports celebrities, it tells us that there's a long way to go in our sport, but maybe we can talk a bit later about that sure. As well. So I explained you the very beginning of it, and then so basically in the beginning it was just me and then the 3 boys, Tiago, David and Miguel, that are the skillers. And very much all the creative process and all the logistic and filming and acting process was very much the 4 of us. I always had I was always simultaneously, I was the manager of the team, so I needed to delegate and to create some orientation in the way we wanted to go. Actually, I wrote down some action plan and some, I would not call it a business plan, but at least an orientation plan and a creative plan that we would like to follow. And it's very nice that was a long-term plan, and very often I go back to that presentation that I can send you by curiosity, and you see that a lot of things are still respecting those ideas that we discussed back then.
Yeah, and I've got a similar thing. So when I started Sport 101, I had this big diagram, and I was like, just ideas everywhere of like, okay, well, these are the things that I'd love to kind of get through and cover and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, probably once every 3 or 4 months, I'll just check back, have I got through those? Are they still relevant? Are they not? But yeah, it's cool that we've got the same kind of ideas in terms of making sure you've got that bigger picture, which is almost, at the time you write it, you're like, wow, this is huge. And then you kind of you start to tick things through, and you're like, okay, this is manageable. This can be done.
Here it was mostly for my orientation, because I never wanted to put that responsibility or burden on the boys, because they are a bit more creative, they are younger, so I just wanted them to be focused on thinking and doing cool stuff. I didn't want to give them too much responsibility. So it is nice, but I thought somehow, even this is a very organic and loose and creative project, it is important there is some kind of direction, or at least there is some kind
Yeah.
of objective, so you know a little bit where you're going, or what are you aiming at. And of course, it's a very experimental experience or adventure, because none of us were an expert in terms of filming or performing or social media, but it's been a very cool experience because we are learning a lot. So just to try to sum up a little bit the process. So that was the beginning, as I told you, and then we started to see that we started to have some engagement in terms of fans, and people were commenting in a very positive way. And then one thing led to the other. We started to launch more content, and with that came the opportunity of a brand to sponsor us, Dita, back then, which was a great part, and still is a great brand. But during a period we were associated with them, which gave us a big opportunity in terms of resources to travel more, to film more, to be more together, to meet other people, to reach and to create different projects, and that lasted like for 3 years mostly, and that was when we were massively publishing and dropping videos every 4 or 5 days, something like that. And I think that was when our social media phenomenon like really grow up. But back then, and getting back to my plan, we always thought, or I always thought, that besides the Skillers being the trademark and the face of the project, it would be important that we reach a moment that the brand or the vision would be more relevant than anyone else, like me or like the boys. And what you feel now, and I think we somehow reached that, is that you have from top international players to grassroots players that they do something and they send us to us, and it's like, this is a self-pass trick, or this is a self-pass goal.
Yeah.
I think that was one, what we were aiming somehow, but two, fortunately or not, distance and logistical conflicts, because now we are a little bit separated as a team, made that we went in that way a little bit as well. So sometimes people ask us like, yeah, before you guys were more exposed and you drop more videos and so on. And that's true, you know. Yeah. So that's a little bit how we developed, and then just to try to tell you a little bit where I think we are right now is that. So meanwhile we are experimenting products, and we just like to be associated with other projects that are innovative in hockey. We like to support other projects as well. So I think we are kind of like a trademark or a platform, and not one thing. We like to think nowadays that we are very organic thing without any financial pressure, without any brand pressure, and we just like to do stuff we enjoy ourselves, you know.
And I guess that means you can stay with the times easier, because you're always being able to react to what's happening in the world, rather than be kind of held to something which maybe happened in the past. You can actually be always on the front foot and kind of being a little bit more innovative and on that side of things, can't you, I guess?
That's what we try, you know, like that's what we try, you know. And because what we see also is that there are a lot of people doing similar things that we started doing now, and okay, more power to them. I think personally, or we as a group, we just don't really appreciate if it's a really exact copy of what you're doing. You know, it's the same thing that now I would start a podcast and it would follow exactly the same style and would invite the same people and would do the same kind of questions. And then, of course, you can tell me like, yeah, but The market is free and everybody can do whatever they want to.
Yeah.
Sure, but I think
Yeah.
particularly in hockey there is so much to explore, and we are somehow still very small, and we appreciate a lot people that are doing projects, similar projects even, and we want to support them with whatever we can support them.